One. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Fans in Motion podcast, the only podcast you didn't know you needed. I am looking at two of my friends here, and I say to them, morning hit me like a stone. Someone shoot the telephone. Sounds like Beelzebub singing. Sounds like church bells ringing. The theme song to the Twilight Zone. Say hello, Josh.
God, that's like poetry there. Is that Shakespeare?
Who's that? Bill Shakespeare over there?
It's like
one of my favorite songs off of Neverland.
Like
Love that song.
Maya Angelou.
I was rocking that today while I was out running some errands. Say hello, Brentry.
Somebody on the page had made a comment that Neverland was their least favorite album the other day. And
I blocked that person, and I'm going to lobby to get them kicked off the page.
You know, and I know that's one of Josh's favorite tunes off the record, My Elusive Mind.
No.
Yeah. And the hua. It's like being bored.
Neverland is very top heavy and bottom heavy. It's like either I'm really into it or I am not.
I'm like Love this with it.
Love it. I mean,
it's kind of like porn. Like I'm really into it for a while, then amazingly,
I have to back down. I need a palate cleanser,
and then like just I find myself real quick just not into it anymore. So I don't know.
And this would have been up my nose if I would have been. If
you just have to find more categories, Josh. You got to dig deeper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no Man in Motion. And speaking of Man in Motion, our last episode,
he gets mammals in motion, and that's what's doing it for him. You know,
marsupials.
So the last episode we did was
fast.
Man in Motion. Brent, stop talking over me. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed listening to that album multiple times that day, and I've had a few friends message me with their thoughts on their rankings, so to speak. I told them they were wrong, but it was fun. Any feedback to you guys personally? Anybody message you guys on that episode?
Well, that was probably the most feedback we've gotten on an episode on the Facebook page, because everybody was putting their list up, and it was so great to see it. A lot of the lists mirrored kind of probably, I can't remember how our lists all looked together, but mirrored mine. Like some of the same four songs were always at the bottom. Some of the same four were always at the top. One thing I did kind of take out of all that is Here She Comes Again is ranked either at the top or mine it was towards the bottom.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had it at the bottom, but a lot of people had it at the top too. So it was either people love it or they hate it. It's like there was no in between. It was never 6 or 7. It always seemed like it was either 10 or 11 or 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So it's unique seeing that. And the I Did It for Love, you know, there's people that just don't like it because of, you know, who wrote it or whatever. But
a friend of mine who messaged me privately, Gary, Brent, as you know, him and I had a phone conversation about it. He was like, he put I Did It for Love at the end just because they didn't write it. I was like, yeah, but it's still a good song, man.
So he was Team Night Ranger with me then.
He seemed to be Team Night Ranger, but his top two were same.
And then here's the thing is Here She Comes Again. Like I said, that's the one that has the 3 different songwriters on it. So it probably didn't originate as a Night Ranger song. It was probably somewhere else. So, you know, it's all right. So Jack Blades probably threw some lyrics on it, got the songwriting credit. And
yeah, absolutely.
But whatever.
What about you, Brent? Anybody talk to you? Any messages?
Not personally, just it was fun. Like Josh said, you know, we had like 4 comments. I came back 10 hours later and it's like 50. And I'm like, oh my God, it exploded.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It might have even been Robin, I think, that said that they love when we do the ranking episodes. So I enjoy it. It makes you go back and really put your ears on an album instead of just passing through it. It's like, I got to listen to this because I have to put these in an order and I got to put them and rank them and justify my decisions. So that was a lot of fun.
And someone just last night posted a link to another podcast. I can't remember what it's called.
Not the connoisseur,
something like that. But
I saw it. Yeah, I didn't watch it yet.
I didn't watch it either. But I think I clicked on it just to make sure, like, was listenable and audio and stuff. But yeah, so they did an episode on the Man in Motion album. So it's one of those albums that if you pick up and you're a Night Ranger fan, you pretty much are probably a fan of it. And it's probably now an album a lot of people got too, because it was in those clearance bins there for a while.
Yeah.
So
I watched most of it. I was getting PTSD, podcast disorder, whatever, because the dude's talking. As he's talking, he's holding up cassettes. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Josh all over again.
Maybe it's Josh doing it.
And
he's moving away from us.
He's up in Canada, and he couldn't figure out why they were on Epic Records in Canada. And I'm thinking, oh, well, Josh needs to get a hold of the guy. He'll tell him everything.
You know what? That's about where I clicked into.
Did you?
Because he's like, I don't know why it's on Epic. And I'm like, well, it's because that's their record label for Europe and Canada.
Yeah.
And I forget, but if you go back and watch those episodes, it was like that for maybe just the Boardwalk era. I don't think.
No, he had a Midnight Madness that was on Epic Records, but when he held up his Boardwalk, it said distributed by CBS Records, on the back.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Martin Popoff. That guy's an author up there. He writes books about rock and roll bands. I think that's the guy who was doing it.
Yeah, I'll have to look and see. I off the top of my head, I can't think of Midnight Madness and Epic Records, but
no, you go back and watch it, you'll see it. And he had a single for "I Did It for Love."
I got the cassette single for "I Did It for Love." We talked about that, remember?
Well, no, you got it. You got the one off Neverland.
No,
I held it up.
Well, I know, but I'd mentioned that we have probably in the Man in Motion episode. I know I would have shown it, but yes, there's a cassette single for "I Did It for Love," and the unique thing, or kind of unique about it, is it's not in a cardboard sleeve; it's in a hard shell case.
Yeah, it's in a hard shell case.
Yep. So,
like I said, I had podcast traumatic stress disorder watching that part. So
great. I'll stand by. I think Man in Motion is one of their most underrated albums in their catalog. I only say that because they don't play anything off of it anymore, and I think most of the casual fans have no idea about this album. So I would love to change that and make that album just have a boom in sales, but I don't think it'll happen. But so moving on to this episode.
Hey, let's move on to this.
Yeah, I was trying to see what it was. Oh, look at that.
Turd Ferguson. Hey, Ferguson here.
Yeah.
But this week's episode, we're doing what makes Night Ranger iconic. And we each kind of have a short list. We'll probably have a couple things in common. Brent kind of threw one to me and I took it, so I'm going to use that one. But anyway, this will be a fun conversation. See what we all think. I'm sure we'll have probably similar ideas, but we're going to discuss.
Well, when I sent you guys the message on that and said, let's come up with 3 things a piece. The reason I said 3 is because we could have easily come up with 5 or 6 a piece, but I wanted, it will give more interaction with the people watching this on the page. Well, I don't want to steal something that they're going to post.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought 3 would be a good number. And I think there'd be some definite conversation on all of it. Stuff I didn't think about that you or Josh brought up, would bring up, and the things that I recognize as iconic, so that's going to be fun.
That'd be fun. We get into the conversation, see how we each see them as iconic and our justifications for why we chose the things we chose.
Yeah.
So
because they are definitely iconic. Take that, America, or take that world.
Yeah. So Josh, you want anything to that before we move on with the agenda?
I'm just interested in seeing how, and it's good we only stuck to 3, I guess, 3 reasons, because
we can always revisit it.
Well, that limits how many times Brent can be wrong. So I know I only had to put up with 3, shitty Brent answers for this episode. So
shitty. You're going to be sitting back going, Wow, that boy, I never thought of that. He's absolutely right. And you will both agree. And I'm sure I will agree with both of you.
All right.
And I'm going to start. When we started, I get the first pick.
All right. We'll go Brent first. I can go last. It doesn't bother me. All right. Night Ranger news. Is there anything we want to talk about? Anything new happening, Josh? Anything you got?
Night Ranger news. Well, Night Ranger's been announcing a lot of dates. I've been a busy guy.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
So they just announced that they're playing Rock the Ring 2022, which is in Switzerland. I think maybe a few days before that, they're playing the what's the other big festival over there in Switzerland? Anyways, go to the website and look. There's 2 dates in Switzerland in June. So if you ever wanted to go see the Alps or something.
Hey, Josh, real quick, if you run it by Ed, I have a passport and I'm vaccinated. So if they need help, I'd be more willing to go to.
I ran it by them, and next thing I know, they would not answer any more of my messages.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Pressing charges.
They're going to be on the 80s cruise in March. I think they're playing 2 shows on that. Go to the 80s cruise website and you can figure that out. But that's like March 5th to the 12th.
Mm-hmm. So
grab your sunscreen and your spandex. It hasn't been announced yet. Well, it has, but not on the Night Ranger page. They're going to be in Green Bay, Wisconsin, February 11th. So I think those are like 3 shows in a row. I think like February 10th is Anderson, Indiana, then Green Bay. And it seems like there's a show after that too. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But there's a show in Fort Worth at Billy Bob's Friday, January 7th. That was just announced. February 26th, you can go see the Milwaukee Admirals hockey. And after that is a post-game concert with Night Ranger. So hockey and Night Ranger, cannot beat that. Yeah, there's that February 10th, Paramount, the Paramount Theater, Anderson, Indiana. So, yeah, so there's a whole bunch of shows being announced. So hopefully they're getting to an area near you. What else?
Josh, did we mention before when they finally announced the single day tickets for that Rock Island show down in the Keys?
I don't know if we did or not, but yeah, the middle of January 12th, something like that. They're playing Key West at one of those rock festivals, and I guess they went ahead and started selling single day tickets. Right. So there you go. Before you book, though, make sure you find yourself a hotel room because it's outrageous.
Pricey. That's why I'm not going. It is pricey.
So, other Night Ranger news. I'm just going to tell you this. 2022 is going to be a fun year. You're already seeing all the concert dates. There's other things that are being planned. So if you are a hardcore Night Ranger fan, and if you're listening to this, you have to be, because if you are not a hardcore Night Ranger fan, you're listening to this. I mean, what are you getting tortured or something?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for clicking on the link, but
it's like no, I'll take waterboarding instead. Yeah, just trust me. Start saving, put some cash aside, because you're going to need that to have some fun next year. But other Night Ranger news, I got this CD in the mail. Bada bing. This is John Nyman's solo CD. John Nyman is the guitarist for Y&T, and he just released a solo record called Made in America. And on this record, let me find it here.
Did you get that in the mail yesterday or today?
I got it last week.
Get it? Y&T.
Oh yeah. Oh, God damn.
Wow. I wasn't even paying any attention to that.
Yeah, well, it went right in both of your heads.
It did.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that that was horrible. Like, and I like bad jokes too. Anyways, I got to find it here, but Brad Gillis plays on a track here. You think I'd be prepared for this? I didn't think it was this hard to find.
Hey, isn't Y&T out on getting ready to go on tour, or are they on tour right now?
They
Heard
are
something about it on Hair Nation. They were talking about it.
Announcing dates.
Yeah.
All right. So Fly Angel Fly. So I'm going to assume this is somewhat an older track because it's got Leonard Hayes and Leonard Hayes on drums and Phil Kennemore on bass, who have both passed, which Kennemore passed 2011. Brad Gillis does lead guitar number 2. Danny Chancey does lead guitar number 3. Greg Raleigh from Journey fame is on keyboards. Eric Martin, Greg Kinn, Eddie Money are all vocalists. Jimmy Lyon, I don't know who he is. Do you know who Jimmy Lyon is? Does lead guitar number 1. So, is it Lucetta?
Troy Lucetta.
He's the drummer on some of these tracks.
From Tesla.
He's phenomenal.
Dave Minichetti plays on a few tracks. So, anyways, just if you're a Brad Gillis fan, there you go. There's a track out there, Fly Angel Fly. Looks like you can get it on, I don't remember where I got it off his page, but www.iacrecords.com, or just go find John Nyman. So there you go, some Brad Gillis.
For news, anything else?
Yeah, I got some more news here. So they've added some stuff to the store. This is probably one of my favorite newer Night Ranger shirts just because of one reason. I will show you. So here is the new ATBPO shirt.
Yeah, I like that one.
All right. But the thing I like about it is they put something on the back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's much cooler than the first and the band played on shirt.
I'll be heading to their merch page.
And I went ahead and ordered this, and it was a little bit bigger than I thought it was. The Christmas ornament.
Oh, how cool is that?
So
we can make that into a necklace.
Yeah,
Flavor Flav size.
Flavor Flav necklace.
Yeah, boy.
So the ornament was, I didn't know it was going to be that. I didn't know it was going to be that big. That's what she said. So there you go. So a few things there in the Night Ranger news. Not really Night Ranger news. I just wanted to kind of throw this out there. So bands are doing box sets, and I hope Night Ranger does a box set. They did that Japanese box set. A lot of times when they do the box set, you can get the CD version or the vinyl version. And Stone Temple Pilots have released a couple of box sets, and I love the way they do it. And I just got this one, and it's one of my favorite albums.
Tiny Music.
Yep. So what's great is it's almost like a book. It feels like a book, and it opens, and you have the booklet for the record and everything else up in here. What's great is all the B-sides and demos are on the regular album are on the CD.
Those are the CDs in there, aren't there? The wraps? Yeah, okay.
So you get the vinyl is just the album, and then you get the album on CD, but all the demos and everything are on CD. It's like I don't really need all those demos and stuff on vinyl, and it makes it more, I guess, more affordable. Instead of getting the vinyl box set for $125, you can get this between $50 and $65, and it has everything. So I hope if Night Ranger ever does something, it's not just strictly CD or vinyl, to where they do something like that and it's okay, we're going to do Midnight Madness with demos. Okay, well, here's the vinyl, and you get 3 discs of other stuff. So I just, like I said, I like how they've been doing their box sets, and a lot of them too are doing it where they do almost 3 different versions. They'll do a 4 or 5 disc box set, and then they'll do a new remastered single disc, and then they'll do like a 2-disc version. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, it'd be nice if Night Ranger would do that, but it's probably more out of their control than anything, especially with them, like I said, just with Universal and MCA and all that. So, all right, that's all I got for Night Ranger news.
Anybody got any new stuff they want to spread the joy with besides Josh's STP?
Is that what you were? Was that all your new stuff?
No, I got Night Ranger new stuff. That was just me talking.
Since we're not, I'll show my 2 things.
Yeah, you can go off the menu, Brent.
And I finally bit the bullet and got Samantha 7.
That CD is great.
And because it's produced by Mr.
Jack Blades.
It's right there. So yeah, I was ordering, speaking of box sets, I was ordering the Destroyer 2-disc set from the box, the small box set. And I got this for free because shipping was going to be $6.99, and I paid like 45 cents so I can get free shipping. It was the same price basically. So Samantha 7, nice promo copy. It's got a hole in here.
So Samantha 7, I think that came out right around maybe 2000. It's produced by Jack Blades. It's a band fronted by CeCe DeVille from Poison. If I remember correctly, is Ty Lonely in that band? Get the booklet out. But Ty Lonely either played on the record or maybe did the tour. I can't remember, but he's the guitarist that was that passed away in that Great White
the
fire.
tragedy, the fire.
Yeah.
Up in Rhode Island.
CeCe's the guitar player. Then you get Chris Burrito, bass, and Francis Ruiz on drums.
Ooh, Francis.
Lighten up, Francis.
Ty Longley, I'm pretty sure did something with that band. But yeah, it's a really good record. I was very surprised. I found a promo copy of it at a used record store, and so there are Portrait Records used copies. And that album was delayed, if I remember correctly. It was delayed coming out, so I bought the 3 promo copies, and I was selling them for like $40 or $50 on eBay, back 20 years ago. So
they'd be up to at least $42 today.
Probably not even 42 cents. But
who's singing on that?
CeCe.
It's
that raspy voice is like,
dude,
let's get him
Oh,
on,
he's got a good voice.
It's a good record. I always enjoyed.
Haven't you ever heard I hate every bone in your body but mine?
No.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's off of The Power to the People. And you heard me with the title I said, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a filthy title. And right before, like, when he goes into this guitar solo, he calls his own name out, CeCe.
Well, that's funny. I like that.
It's fantastic.
I like that.
So there you go. If you want some new old stock music, go track down Samantha 7 and give it a listen.
Yeah, it's not bad from what I've heard so far. So
what else you got, Brent?
Well, Josh was talking about box sets, and I bit the bullet.
Brent's favorite Kiss album?
No, it's not my favorite Kiss album. It should have been Rock and Roll Over.
$200 for a 4-disc box set.
Break it down, Brent. What all's in that bad boy?
Open it up, buddy. Let's look.
It's oh god, it'll take forever to put it back together. It's amazing what they put inside of it.
Yeah, because it's such a great album.
Hang on, let me pull my shrink off here.
It is the only Kiss album that sonically sounds good from the 70s.
Brent hates this album.
I don't hate the album.
minus Dynasty. Dynasty sounds sonically good.
Okay, it's got this huge book.
Hopefully it has pictures for you.
Yeah, it's got that's the best ones right there. No, it's got a bunch of live shots and stuff in the studio. It's hard to position this. That's what she said. But it's really cool. Like this picture here with that stage. I think that's like in New Zealand or something like that.
I think that's like, is it? No, I think it's Brussels or Belgium.
It's somewhere. And
only there was a book that told you what that was from.
Yeah, well, it doesn't say right here. But Gene's solo band played that place. It's an amusement park.
Then you got to put words together to make, or letters together to make words.
Anyway, it's got a big ass book. And then you go into here, and I got to turn it sideways. Josh just wants to see it.
No, I didn't think it was open, or I would.
Did you get it, Josh?
I didn't order that one.
Embossed envelope here. And what's cool, it's got like posters in here. They recreated the fan club stuff, and they went ahead and made from the Destroyer tour a small version of the tour book. They reproed that. I mean, it's so freaking sweet. And then you get another folder with stickers and iron-ons, and like, you know, here's your Kiss iron-on.
There you go.
Still sealed.
Go down to Velvet Sheen and get you the blank T-shirt.
Velvet Sheen. And then you have 4 discs at the bottom here, and it's crazy. I sent Andy one of the tracks of Detroit Rock City.
Yeah, totally. I mean, thank God for Ezra.
Shows you what a producer can do. But yeah, there's 2 discs of unreleased demos and sound check stuff and Destroyer album. Then they've got a bootleg show. This was actually recorded from the audience. I believe it's a Stoned in Paris bootleg, and it sounds so good they went ahead and stole the bootleg and released it. And then you've got a Blu-ray version of Destroyer. The audio supposedly is fantastic through a surround sound system. So it was worth $200, but it would have been better if it was Rock and Roll Over, in my opinion.
Well, with Kiss, it's so hit and miss. Some of their stuff, like they put together, is great, and then some of it is just absolute shit show. Some of the colored vinyl is just so horrible. Some of their box sets or their things they put together are horrible, but this one, it looks like they did a pretty decent job on it.
Blueprints of the Stage. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, you get the old fan club mail away kit with the pictures and the certificate saying I'm in the Kiss Army and blah blah blah, and just cool stuff.
They're a bunch of fucking nerds. Yeah, I plan on getting it. I just, for $200, I'm like, you know what? I'll just sit.
You get it from Walmart. It's $192.
Down next year, just like they did like Garth.
Well,
Brooks
on Amazon right now, it's part of the buy 2 get 3. So basically, if you had 3 people, you buy, you would get them, get 3 for $400.
Oh, that's not bad.
But anyways,
is that all you got, Brent? New stuff?
That's all I got. New stuff. I don't normally share all the Kiss stuff I get, but this was pretty cool since Josh was talking about box sets.
Jay Weasel, what do you got?
Yeah, well, I have this. God knows where it's at. I still need to go through some stuff, but I saw this and it wasn't that expensive, so I went ahead and bought it just to show on the podcast and have some fun.
Oh, Carnival mirror.
Carnival mirror.
The only Carnival mirror that I know Night Ranger ever had.
Oh my God, I wish I had that.
God, I remember seeing that, at our local fair back in 84 or something, and I think I got 2 of them.
It's
like
super
back
cheesy,
then,
but God, it's so cool.
Yeah, for $1. Remember, for $1. But yeah, there you go, Carnival mirror, and still has the original cardboard frame.
Yeah, it does.
The best.
And
that just takes me right back.
I bought this. I don't know, maybe $10, but a lot of times these are a little bit more expensive just because they ship from overseas. A cover of Guitar Magazine from Japan. So Big Life era.
Love it.
And what I like about this was, like, hey, if they're on the cover, the article is right at the front. It isn't like back in the day where you had to,
it's buried.
So it's got some Big Life photos of Brad and Jeff. And there.
Read us something.
Yeah.
There's got to be something like in English. The word Night Ranger.
I see King's Cup. That is all.
Arigato.
Mushy. So
Mushy,
there
mushy.
is Brad in the studio playing a Les Paul, and then there is
Jeff, yeah.
And probably all that equipment is probably now worthless and in the garbage. But yeah, just something I never had, and it's like, for $10 I'll
it's cool.
Pull the trigger on it. So there you go. Brent, what do you got in Fans in Motion news?
What do I got in Fans in Motion news? Man, I got a lot in Fans in Motion
news. Shout it out loud, Brent.
Okay, Andy, the words are big enough for you to read in the background, so
hang on, let me.
But I know who this one is right away.
Screen a little bigger here so I can see it.
This is Chuck Williams. He took a picture. Oh, sorry, you can't see these in my head. There we go.
Look at that.
Yeah, it was a cool pic. I thought that was pretty iconic of Jack doing what he does on stage, you know.
Looks like he's in an MMA fight. Well, let's get it on.
Yeah, it just I'm trying to cover that up. There we go. So that was pretty cool. Here, Andy, you're gonna try to pronounce this name.
Oh boy.
I was practicing before. Let me see if you can't tell, this is a ladle I'm using so I can reach to cover the camera up with.
I mean, the production value here is awesome.
That's not what I was going to click on, but it's up here. So Josh was showing his carnival mirror. Yeah, Greg Sikirky, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds. I mean, I would have gone
Sikirky,
pretty close to that.
Check that mirror out, Josh. Do you have that? Is that a carnival mirror as well? It's a bigger mirror.
To me, that looks fan made.
Yeah,
I've never really seen,
Might be flea market mirror. Caesar's Creek or Trader's World. It's still awesome. I'm gonna get one of those when I get my new podcast studio built. I'm gonna put one behind me.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I didn't know if Josh knew anything about it, and I don't remember if he posted anything about where he got it from.
I mean, to me, it's not a carnival mirror. That's just, it's just too
big.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you'd have to look at it. I mean, I don't know if it's, a decal just put on a mirror, a sticker. I mean, it could be a sticker that you've created and printed off yourself and put on there. I mean,
I can get one made for you guys because my daughter's got a Cricut, one of those machines that cuts stickers out.
All right, I'll take one.
Okay, Andy, don't tell me you love me. Okay, I was just segueing. The Donna Gallucci. Gallucci went posted. Jack had went back to the set of "Don't Tell Me You Love Me" about 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I'd never seen that post that he made. And then oh my God, what's his name? I had him last week with the Brad Gillis guitar. Our buddy from Japan.
Turd Ferguson.
It wasn't him. He went to he's the same guy they went to see the satellite dishes and what have you. Yeah. He went to that destination to see where they filmed the video, which that's so cool. Here's one Josh is gonna love. Rough. Gamma.
Just like your mother likes it.
Lance Rushing posted this, and our buddy Fitz is back in the it's my left-hand corner. I'm sure it's what it is for you guys as well.
That would be right around that picture is probably 1979. He was with them for Gamma 1, which came out in 79, and so that picture is probably either 79, probably the earliest, maybe late 78.
Well, it's pretty cool. I'd never seen that photo before. And then our good friend of the show, Nisa Johnson Haynes, her and her husband went down to, was it El Paso?
Prescott Valley, Arizona.
I apologize. And I remember when we were in Cleveland, she was telling us how she had front row for the show and she couldn't wait.
So that 2 Jack picks and a stick from Kelly.
Well,
yeah, I think that's Kelly because he's taped them. The other guys, I don't think tape their sticks when they come out. But I don't know that.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've never paid attention. So And Lisa's birthday was just recently, so happy birthday, Lisa. That was
Happy
pretty
birthday,
cool.
Lisa.
And she, you know, taking pictures of them out in the west, in the mountain ranges, what have you. It's been pretty cool. Here to steal some thunder from Josh, we got Lori Barr with her Christmas ornament.
Yeah, that is still, but that's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice. It looks great, and it looks even better when Josh was showing it.
How heavy is that thing, Josh? Got a little weight to it?
Yeah, I mean it's metal. I mean, and it's thick enough to where like I can't bend it, you know, just taking my hand and trying to. So yeah, I mean, is it worth $20? Let's just put it this way. When I got it, like I wasn't like disappointed, like holy shit, that's not worth $20. I'm like, yeah, okay. So
yeah, I'm gonna let you hold it up and let it go back and forth. We're gonna do a public service house for Night Ranger. You will buy this. You will buy this for Christmas presents. Anyway.
Obey.
So Lori Barr, thanks for sharing. And another one of our favorite Loris, Lori Pierce.
In order to hypnotize them, someone's got to be watching.
Yeah. Well, you never know. You know, if they're playing the drinking game, listening to it, we got them. Lori Pierce today posted her Happy Thanksgiving Fans in Motion.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she superimposed them with hats on and feathers coming out of Eric's glasses, and it's an antlers on Carrie's head. And yeah, thought that was cute. So Lori Pierce, you're awesome. Cool job. Our buddy over across the pond, Mark Greenaway.
Look at that.
Mark Greenaway shared these pictures from when he came to America, and he wore his Lucky Night Ranger shirt.
Yeah.
And I just, it's so Mark Greenaway, you know?
Yeah, he said he wears it when he flies, and that was like Malibu. Somewhere around there.
Well, he's in Santa Monica, I think, at the bottom there.
That's what you're saying. Yeah, Santa Monica. And I think, Brent, you tell me, didn't I have that shirt?
I don't recall you having that shirt.
I think it says Still Rocking 97.
Still Rocking America or something like that.
I think it says Still Rocking 97 on the back. I'm pretty sure that's the shirt they had on the Neverland tour.
Yeah, and when we saw them in Columbus, they didn't have any merch.
Maybe then I didn't get from that show.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd never seen it. And then when we saw them on the 7 tour, they didn't have any merch. So, yeah, lucky for us.
You got a better memory of my life than I do. So,
and Sherry Stone, look what Sherry Stone caught.
How about that?
She caught a Carrie Kelly pick that I don't even have, that we don't have, but we will get one of these soon. She's got a Brad Gillis one too, but the Carrie Kelly one's a cooler one. For other reasons, but yeah, I thought that was cool, and especially when I saw the variant, I'm like, damn it, there's another one.
Yeah, that's cool.
And last but certainly not least, we're gonna post this picture of Mr. Dawson Weaver with his I think that's his dad, but the tests haven't come back yet. Josh, you want to tell us about Dawson's weekend there?
Old Dawson's first rock concert was Night Ranger. Actually, the first group he saw was Autograph. But so yeah, I got tickets to take him down to the beach in Tampa, and so we spent 4 days down there. And Saturday night, we headed to the show. It was at, I think, like Orange County Choppers has a place down there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was this huge place. They had first part of the concert kind of like in their little venue. Then I think the second part was for Night Ranger was out maybe like in their parking lot. Over 10,000 people there. And my mom went, and my mom is over with Brad, and then my aunt went over by Jack there. And that's my aunt that I would I go take her Night Ranger records. So it was cool. There was a lot going on. So but yeah, so we went back, and I'm holding my kid, and next thing I know, there's Eric, and I was like telling Dawson to say hi to Eric, and hey Eric. and then there's Kelly. Hi, Kelly. And then, hi, Brad. And, Brad gave him a guitar pick, which he loved, and let him strum his guitar a little bit. And so it was just cool. God, when we first started this to even be telling this story. But yeah, it was very hectic, a lot going on back there. So, just said hi and got the picture. And if you saw the video, my kid just, he's very active. So we found the spot kind of like where like the first part of the concerts were, and I just let him run around while Night Ranger played. And but yeah, it sucks because one day I'm in the ocean or in the Gulf walking and on a sandbar and living the life, drinking a Miller High Life, and then 24 hours later I'm back in Ohio. So
yeah,
but yeah,
well, did he enjoy his flight, and did he have a good time? Did he make the pinwheels work all day?
He loves pinwheels. So where we stay, there's a Dollar Tree right across the street. So I went and bought him like $10-15 worth of pinwheels. So he was good to go. And so yeah, just stayed out there with him and
That's what it's all about, man. Build those memories.
Let him do his thing. And then, like I said, Saturday we ventured over to Night Ranger. So knocked his first airplane ride out, and first rock concert. So he's living the life, man. He's living the life.
All right.
Yeah, I could tell how big that venue was because when you posted that video, it was during breakout, and he's just kind of moving around to it. And you could tell the stage was so far away and you're in that enclosed area. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people there.
Where I was at was where like there's like a restaurant there. Anyways, that's like where the first part of the concert was. There was a lot of people still backing around where I was. And then, if you're kind of looking where I was filming, there was still a whole back area to that. So, but I met, there were some fans. Like I said, I didn't get to talk. I didn't post anything really for any meeting or anything like that. But James Gillen reached out to me, and I got to meet him for a little bit and talk to him. He's on the page, collects the Night Ranger vinyl, but he works at Disney World and brought my kiddo.
Oh, cool.
Some Mickey Mouse ears, and brought him like a Disney World name tag and a t-shirt. So hooked my kid up with that. And I ran into Barb Harrington real quick, but I think that's back when I was getting ready to take him back for the photo. So I only got to say hi. And then I couldn't really go back out because I had him and he didn't want to, I wasn't going to take him that close to the stage and everything. So saw Barb real quick, and there was a couple other people there. I think James or Barb told me that was there. But so yeah, I did get to run into a few people from the page there. So
yeah, it's cool.
Awesome, man.
Rock and roll hoochie.
Does that wrap it up? Anything else?
That wraps it up, man.
Before we get into this,
that wraps it up. That's the name of a Night Ranger song off of
Hole in the Sun.
Hole in the Sun.
Wrap it up.
All right. So Brent, we ready to do this?
We're going to talk about things that we think that make Night Ranger iconic. And this topic popped in my head back in the midst of the COVID high point when Dr. Pepper had a little commercial and they did a parody of Sister Christian using
sweet.
And I said to myself, wow, that is one iconic tune. So I'm going to start my list off by saying Sister Christian is one thing that makes Night Ranger iconic. Without a doubt. Everybody knows that song. I mean, when people say, you got a podcast, and I go, Motor and which then I did that today. And I thought, you know what? If Motrin was smart, they could use that song. Motrin for all your headaches.
Wow, you're making me long for Tom Kiefer's.
I'm just making that up as I go there. But no, seriously. So I mean, it's an iconic tune, and it follows them everywhere. It keeps it's probably one thing that has helped keep interest in this band for so many years for just casual fans.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you think about how you describe iconic, I mean, it's something that's just instantly, if you say the name, what do people think of? And Sister Christian is, I mean, it's got to be number one if you would make a list. I mean, I'm sure we'll find out more here, but I mean, most people, I think you said that. So when you say you have a podcast about Night Ranger, you what? And you motoring and bam. So
yeah,
Josh, you want to go next?
That was
you want to jump on that?
That would be was going to be one of mine, but I would say even more, I guess, just to create discussion, even more of iconic than Sister Christian is just the word motoring.
Yeah.
All right. Like
they introduced a word to the lexicon.
I mean, like exactly, Brent, what you just the example you just gave, but like when I was down in Florida, and I'd be, out there with my kid, he's playing with other kids, I'm talking to other parents, eventually I'd bring up, I do social media for Night Ranger. Oh, who's that? They had some hits, Sister Christian, Don't Tell Me You Love Me, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, yeah. But then if I go motor and like, oh yeah, right.
Oh yeah, I love those guys.
So it's, you don't ever really even sing the, oh yeah, Night Ranger. They had that song, Sister Christian. No, you don't sing that part. You always sing motoring.
Yep.
So maybe just to change it up, and then what we're talking about here, I would say the iconic part, just to go dig deeper into Sister Christian, is just that word. You say motoring, you don't even have to sing it. Yeah. You just say motoring, you go straight to Sister Christian, Night Ranger, and I think I even have a kid's onesie.
You do.
That says motoring on. I can't remember now, but I got
it's got a little stroller on it.
Yeah. It's like, it has like, looks like it's going fast, and it says motoring. So so Sister Christian, motoring, that was going to be my grand finale, but I'll throw it in here with this
a finer point.
Yeah,
I mean, that's go ahead, Brent.
No, I'm just gonna say I have no order for mine, because what's the point,
Yeah,
I mean, rules here.
Not to just stay with that for just a minute. I mean, truly, you think about that, and when we get to finish our Kelly interview, I know he doesn't want us to do too much on Sister Christian, but I would love to just talk to him about, think about what you wrote. Like, there's plenty of people who've written hit songs. There's thousands and probably hundreds of thousands who've written hit songs. You wrote a song that, like Josh said, one word. We all been to so many concerts, and that is the part everybody waits for, that build, and the motor, the crowd erupts. And it's like you say, you say to anyone of a certain age. I mean, you say motoring to my daughter who's 16, she'd be like, okay, weirdo, walk on. But people of our age, little younger, Josh's age, and then back, you're right, Josh. One word, and it instantly makes people think of Night Ranger. So,
and that song, you could say maybe even saved Night Ranger, because Don't Tell Me You Love Me wasn't that big a hit. With the bankruptcy and everything, with Boardwalk Records, that record really didn't get out there. They signed with MCA. You Can Still Rock in America, the first single off of it, was a flop.
Mm-hmm.
If that single flops, When You Close Your Eyes, do they give that a push? Does it really do any better? So you could, you can make an argument that that song really, because once that hit, then that was able to push When You Close Your Eyes and everything from Seven Wishes. So, Andrew,
the first thing I'm going to mention, and again, this one Brent threw to me because I was kind of like, I don't know what you mean by it. And then he gave me what he was thinking. I was like, I gotcha now. And it is, they're the only band that I know that does this, and it's the way their stage is set up with Kelly, sitting sideways and facing the audience. There's not another band that does that, and
they bring everybody to the forefront, even the keys.
If you think about it, again, with the term iconic, it's what is instantly recognizable. And that is one of the things. Now, I mean, I don't know if a lot of people pay attention to stage setups, but I mean, maybe you can think of another band that does that. And of course, we've heard the stories of why they do it, but it's one of the things that Brent and I have talked about this for years. We love that they do that. And so I'll say the way they set their stage up with Kelly sitting facing the audience to a degree, and then the keys, whether it be Fitz or Eric, on the other side. So to me, that's an iconic Night Ranger exclusive.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, I guess if you would, you'd have to be a fan of that hard rock genre. So if you showed a picture of a stage,
yeah,
and automatically the drums were on the side, you go, oh, that's Night Ranger stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get what you're saying. The only thing that's really ever changed with that is it used to be the keyboards during Fitz's era, and even
Kelly.
Well,
they were,
but even and Kelly's is kind of stayed about the same, but the keyboards, even up to Michael Lardy, and I'd have to look back at other photos, but it was always the keyboards were facing directly to the drums. Now they've angled, Eric.
Yeah.
But like I said, I know even back in the 90s and early 2000s, it was still set up to where it was facing directly. So yeah, I can see what you're talking about there,
I
Andrew.
Knew one time my band played a show and I set my drums up that way, and I think you were there, Brent, and you were like Kelly Keagy style. I was like, yeah, because the way I had to, because of space, which I think was the original reason they did it. But we were at an area where the stage was a little smaller than we expected, so I turned to the side to give some rooms to it wasn't as deep.
Well, it's like when Rob Tipton and I were talking about forming a band a couple of years ago. I told him, I said, we're going to go Kelly Keagy style. I'm tired of being hidden by a singer. I'm tired of not being able to see anybody. I'm going to come to the front of the stage, and then you guys got everywhere to run. Well, of course, it never developed, and capitalize on what you're talking about. The band that came the closest to it, but no cigar, was Stryper. Robert Sweet would turn a set sideways so you could see him, but it was still in the middle.
He's phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah. I think the coolest thing about what he did was, when we saw him, was have those cymbals hanging from chains from the light trusses, and they just swing and they come back by, and it'd be perfect timing and smack that cymbal.
Yeah.
Great live band.
Yeah.
So yeah, very cool on the iconic stage.
Yeah. Well, again, you threw that to me, and I ran with it because I was like, yeah, that's something I like. So anyway, what do you got, Brad? What's another one you have? In no particular
order. It's Josh.
No, Josh already did his.
Well, you did your Sister Christian?
Is that motoring?
Okay. Oh, I thought you were just adding to it.
Well, I mean, Sister Christian was going to be one of mine, so I
had it on mine too, and I thought, no, they're both going to do Sister Christian, so I just took it off.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I will say mine was I just said the word motor. So, all right. Okay. So your second thing that makes Night Ranger iconic: the use of the word trousers.
No, not that. It was going to be Ice Machine, actually, but I scratched that out, and I opted for the greatest, in my opinion, dual guitar band on the planet. You've got your Rats. They had two guitar players. You got Kiss. I mean, most bands have two guitarists. Josh is smiling because he was going to use this one too, weren't you?
Well, I won't say it's iconic. I mean, I think they rank up there, but I think there's a lot of bands that are better well known than, Iron Maiden, than Lizzy.
Well, they had three. I'm talking two.
Well, no, they got three now. They didn't have three in the 80s.
Well, but I would know. I was thinking about all the bands that did it, and I just think Night Ranger, they've always had that great duo that complements one another. You hear Brad going crazy with whatever Brad's developing, and then you would hear Jeff just 8-fingering it, and and now you got Kerry tearing it up. They've always had a gunslinger with Brad Gillis, and it's fantastic.
I always liked when one of them would do part of a solo, and then the other one would jump do the second part, and then they would end it together. Like At Night She Sleeps is a good,
harmonizing.
Where they bring that back up. Sing Me Away.
Revelation.
Sing Me Away is probably the most.
Yeah,
is the one that comes to mind during the live set. Them doing the dual guitar. Eddie's Coming Out Tonight. Night Ranger, the song.
And you can always tell who it is that's playing it. Yeah. You can tell.
So I'll jump in here. I'll step in front of Josh for to because one of my iconic things ties with what you're saying, and I'll agree with what you're saying on the guitars, but more specifically, iconically, Brad's tremolo and whammy bar work. That is what I think there's no other band that does anything like what Brad does. And I think that is a signature. I mean, I think, again, you got to be a music nerd to hear it and go, oh yeah, that's Night Range. I can tell by Brad Gillis's work. But like, even when you watch the the Hearing Aid,
oh yeah,
big video and all those, there's a multitude of phenomenal guitar players. You can tell Brad Gillis out of every single one of those note crammers, the Yngwie wannabes, and then there's Brad, who just starts bending notes, and he's the only one that does it that way. Lynch will bend some notes, Eddie bent notes like that with a whammy bar, but Brad has his own way, man, and that to me is iconic.
Well, and I was sitting there thinking about this. I was thinking about his guitar being iconic, and just the Foley Rose alone being iconic. And that contributed to the sound of what he came up with and whoever's playing by his side comes up with.
Josh, you can go. I didn't mean to step in front of you, but I wanted to just put a point on what Josh or what Brent was saying.
So yeah, like I said, I may agree more with Andrew about Brad's guitar playing be more iconic than the dual guitars, just because there are so many great dual guitar bands. I mean, even songs. I mean, there's like a Molly Hatchet, like some of their big hits, like Flirting with Disaster, dual guitars. But like I said, like Thin Lizzy, stuff like that. But yes, you could always kind of tell Brad. He has these certain notes that he.
Well, that was part of my point of the dual guitars. Yeah. You could tell who they are.
And of course, Jeff's iconic 8-fingered. I mean, someone may have done that before Jeff. Who knows? But just like with Eddie and tapping, someone did it before Eddie, but Eddie made it his signature, and Jeff developed that and mastered that 8-finger technique. And it, again, though, you got to be a real music aficionado to point that out. Most casual people have no clue what we're talking about. So
I guess my second iconic thing would be their live show. In the, if you're a fan of the hard rock, genre, Night Ranger is always talked about as one of the better live bands, and they do it solely off of their talent. I mean, you go see Kiss. What's Kiss? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's because they've got makeup and they're bombs and shit's exploded. I mean, it's not Paul Stanley's voice. But in other bands, they've got these huge sets going on. Motley Crue, Alice Cooper, Night Ranger. It's them. And you talk to anybody, even if they're not a Night Ranger fan, and they don't even like that music. Oh, I saw them in '85. Yeah, they were pretty good. And that's like the far end of the spectrum. Anybody who's into the music that we like, Night Ranger is always, they're a great show. And I have always argued that kind of hurts them, because who the hell wants to follow that? I think that's what hurts them getting on some of these big package tours is, do you want to be, up there and overweight, and then have these guys who are older than you still, looking good, sounding good, and you got to follow that? I think that hurts them. But anybody that you talk to who likes this music, Night Ranger live show is always mentioned. And I think that's why they still do so great. There's other bands out there that have a little bit more hits, but don't sell as well, because Night Ranger really lives off the reputation of their live show. So that would be my second thing. It makes them iconic, is just their reputation of their live show.
I'll add to that, Josh. I completely agree with that. And the one thing I love now, some people differ on me in this. I like when I see a band live, I like it to sound as close to the record as it sounds. Now, some people disagree. They want a different sound live. I want a Night Ranger. We've seen them, Brent, for 40 years. They sound the same. They sound great. Their songs sound like what you just heard on the record or on the radio on the way in. And their energy level is still, I mean, in my opinion, it's still the same. I mean, these guys, they're 40 years older than when we saw them. And I mean, they still rock out. I mean, when me and Teresa go to shows, she's like, I still can't believe how old these guys are. And they are just killing it. They're just killing it. Brad and Jack. And I mean, it's just awesome. And I just giving the props of what Josh was saying there.
On top of that, you went with, I don't know the one guy's name you took to that music place in Indiana.
Oh, yeah, Abe.
And I remember you telling me he had never seen him before.
Yeah.
Same with Todd Kearns.
Yep.
And what was their reaction after they saw them?
Just amazed. I mean, Abe was blown away. Never seen Night Ranger, knew their songs. He caught a drumstick that night. We were front row, and we left on all the way back from that show up at Sweetwater to Columbus. He was like, I still can't believe how amazing they sound and how much energy. I was like, brother, I've been doing this for 40 years with these guys, chasing them around the country. And I said, this is one of the reasons I go. And Brent, I mean, same reason like you and I talk about going to like Butch Walker.
Yeah.
You don't ever walk up going, I've seen better. I never do that with these guys. And because I love it when you leave it on the stage and they perform at such a high level. I never, ever feel like they're being phoned in. Never. I don't think Night Rangers ever, and they may have. I've never seen it, and I can't attest to it. But every show I see, it seems like we've seen them at shows where there's not a lot of people, and their energy level is still where it's supposed to be. And I love that about these guys.
So, Brent and I's first one was Sister Christian Motorin, and what was yours?
I had the stage set up.
And then the second one that we brought up was Brad's guitar playing, the dual guitars is what Brent said. And then I said the live show. Now, before we get into the number one, I did put up Elvis right there, the true rock and roll icon.
Thank you very much.
And if you look here, what's that?
Yeah, I can't tell what that is.
It looks like a monkey.
I'll be your monkey.
Oh, look at that. It's Doug Davis.
I love it.
Let's see if it works. I'll be your junkie. How the fuck does this work?
Mr. Monkey. I want one of those.
I don't know. Anyways.
Where did you find that?
Internet. Family member was getting rid of shit, and I saw that. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, like that's coming with me.
Yeah.
Of all things, that goes along with a Night Ranger song.
And while you're pulling stuff from behind there, is that the classic Kenner R2D2 remote control?
No, this is something I found at a thrift store. It's pretty new.
Yeah, it looks better than the classic Kenner.
Looks like Greg Eckler.
Old Greg.
Little callback.
Oh, I got it. It went right over my head.
Am I on? That was still that was a great night of my life.
May he rest in peace.
All right, so number one.
Go
with, or not number one, but whatever. Our last one. What makes the band that we all love and enjoy iconic?
Brent, you got?
Well, it goes back to what Josh was talking about, Sister Christian. If Sister Christian wouldn't have been a hit, would have When You Close Your Eyes been a hit? If Sister Christian wouldn't have been a hit, would Rockin' America, You Could Still Rock in America, be the anthem that it is today. All iconic bands have an anthem or have an iconic anthem, and that's Night Ranger's anthem. You Can Still Rock in America, period. They close the shows with it. It's always going to close the show. Everybody knows it. They know it more than when it was
rock and roll all night.
It's their rock and roll. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's their rock and roll all night, and it's very iconic.
I have to agree. I get a little if I have a feeling that they're not going to play it, I get a little bumped by it. I'm like, you better play it. I expect to hear that at the end of the night.
Yeah, and it's to me, when I hear it, it tells me how proud they are to be who they are and where they're from.
Sure.
And they deliver it every single time. And it has every form of, like, the guitars, that we were talking about. It is 100% Night Ranger on 11.
Yeah, I mean, well, it highlights both what we talked about earlier about both guitarists. It highlights their
abilities,
genius, what makes them iconic guitar players. I mean, that's the song that does it. So I agree with that. I have no beef with that, bro. Broseph.
So when I was thinking about what makes Night Ranger iconic, Rock in America, like I said, when you have an anthem, you're automatically iconic.
Yeah. For me, the last thing that I want to bring up that I think is super iconic is their logo. Their logo, which, I mean, first of all, it says Night Ranger, but it's back in that era where bands really worked on logos. And I mean, I won't say it's the most iconic logo out there. I mean, because I thought about this, like, the Rolling Stones have a logo that you don't have their name in it, and as soon as you see that mouth and the tongue sticking out, you know exactly who that is. But
except for my 14-year-old,
yeah,
she has shirt with like 6 of them on her. She got it at Target, and my daughter Madison brought them. She goes, "Dad, they had a Kiss shirt, but Lexi got this shirt." I went, "You got a Rolling Stone shirt?" She's always like, "Is that who that is?"
But I mean, that's probably the most iconic logo. But I'll reference back in the summer when I went to a podcast expo and I had on the Fans in Motion shirt that Brent designed. I had people yelling at me from across the room, "Hey, Night Ranger guy." It didn't say Night Ranger, but they saw the logo, and that, again, that of a certain age, they know exactly who it is based on it's like if you see Def Leppard's triangle, you know it's or the Kiss's S's, So to me, the logo, again, that's something from a distance you could see. If you see that kind of chevron thing going on, you know who it is. And if you don't, I don't want to know you.
I think if you're going to say that the logo is iconic, it's definitely got to be this one right there, the stretched one.
Yeah.
I was going to say the one, even the Mojo one behind you. I mean, that's awesome, man.
Well, the Mojo
that's
one,
wrong though.
Yeah, they used the stretch one. This isn't really right to the era, but
there you go.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. Oh shit.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, the only one you can see from a distance without any wording and knows who it is, it's the Stones. But other than that,
Grateful Dead. I mean,
maybe Chickenfoot.
If you want to
do Chickenfoots,
if you want to talk about
or VH,
like logos and stuff, I mean, think how many the Grateful Dead have. You got the bears, you got the skeleton. There's like 3 or 4 like things that the Grateful Dead used.
The bong.
I like this one.
Yeah. If you guys want to hear some good Dead, just get some Shakedown Street. But
I kid.
So my iconic thing, and this would be iconic for Night Ranger. What makes people hardcore Night Ranger fans, I guess, and why they're iconic to them is how they treat their fans. If you think about it, everybody, if you're a hardcore Night Ranger fan, you have a cool Night Ranger story that involves one of the guys.
I have multiple of them.
All right.
Over decades. All
right. And to me, that is iconic. I mean, Kelly walking out to, the 79 Zephyr in his trench coat and all the snow and his all access passes. Just I could, Jack Blades at Wabash driving down that ramp, and he didn't come out and sign anything. But I'm like, he comes down, he's going to have to turn and go to that traffic light. And I just know that traffic light's green right now. It's not going to be green when he gets there. So I walk over, and right when they pull up, it stops. And it's red, and I knock on the window, and Jack looks up to me, like, "Whoa, what's that?" And it's some guy, and I hold up the Rubicon album. Now this is pre-internet. Well, it's not really pre-internet, but it's not as readily available. And he's like, "Wow!" And he rolls down the window. "Where'd you get that?" And he signs them real quick, and then takes off. I got 20 more. And that's what I'm saying. Is everybody's got one of these stories, at least one. And I think that is what they were accessible enough for you to get these stories. I mean,
absolutely.
I like Kiss. I don't have those stories with Kiss. Now, Brent, would go the extra mile probably.
Brent does,
and give hand jobs to roadies and shit like that. And
no, that never happened.
Yeah, he's still denying.
No,
never
had to stoop that low.
But they were, that's what's great is they were just accessible to where you could see them before the show, after the show, and get those memories. So
I mean, I've had them call security on me, so I love it.
Yeah,
it's true. I was there.
So
you see this fat boy run up a flight of steps. I have one more to add, if you don't mind.
This boy needs to run.
As we were sitting talking, I was like, what else makes this band iconic? And I think would make any band iconic.
Well, this podcast.
They have a podcast dedicated to just them. And that's where we come in. We help make this band iconic and keep them iconic. And we help. I hope they know it, that we're helping the cause. So we're here for the cause.
Like, hey, our album sales increased 0.103%.
It's got to be those three Yahoos, right?
Which gotta actually be.
I worked my ass off trying to get ATBBO, on the charts. I did. And it's funny that you brought that up, Andy, because when I was telling you the story about the guy today, he's like, "What are you doing tonight?" And I said, "Oh, I got a podcast." He goes, "You podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm told, Night Ranger, blah, blah. He goes, "What's your topic? What makes Night Ranger iconic?" I said, "For one, they got a podcast." That's what I said. It's a joke,
Think about all the other bands out there who don't have podcasts dedicated to them. So,
whenever you talk, man, this is what happens. Oh,
see, you can't say any of my answers were shit tonight. They were great.
Well, I think this was a fun topic, and I think it's something we might want to revisit later on. Maybe if we think of more things as we go, it's fun.
What doesn't make them iconic? Some of their shitty album covers. Some, not all.
We've already done that one.
Yeah, I know.
Which was fun to do, by the way.
Ranking album covers.
Someone's countertop?
I'm going to take a picture of my new countertop and I'll show it. Josh, you put a logo over it.
What gets me is people will be talking on the on our page, and they're like, they'll be like saying stuff about certain topics, and it's like, there's a podcast that answers all these questions.
Yeah.
Like what was the Damn Yankees third album?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just all right. Here's
clearly they're subscribers.
Yeah, there was something the other day somebody posted. I'm like, well, if you listen to the last podcast, you'll find out about that.
I mean, I get it. They had to put up with us, so maybe it's worth just being not in the know. But
tell them, like, they could skip through all the nonsense, get to the rankings, get to the whatever, and then just turn it off. That's what I do.
That's what I do for most people's podcasts. Let's skip right to the topic. That's what I do. But hey, we like talking to each other. So
yeah, I mean, is that it? Anything else we'll talk about? Or we're gonna wrap this thing up. I got a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken waiting for me.
Oh yeah. So if you are out there, make sure, if you're watching this on YouTube, do me a favor. Just make my little heart pitter patter. Go click subscribe. It makes me feel loved. So if you're watching this on YouTube, click subscribe. Make sure, if you have not, there are people out there who are watching this and they don't know about the Facebook page. I've gotten comments about that. It's like, oh, wow, cool. I'm like, yeah, all right. Facebook page. Just go search Fans of Motion Night Ranger. You'll find it. Click join. We got the website, fansofmotion.com. You can get everything there, and from that you can listen to us on all the reputable stations there.
Podcatchers out there: Apple Podcast,
Spotify, Audio Mac, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Stitcher, all the respectable ones. Hopefully you guys are okay with the episodes being every 2 weeks. Hopefully people out there aren't too sad. Give us your feedback. How are you coping only getting us every 2 weeks?
You should be going back and watching the older episodes or introducing new people to it, and then having chat groups about it. And
yes.
You need to start a fan page for the fan page.
Writing, papers in your college courses about the excellence of the Night Ranger podcast called Fans of Motion. So
yeah, and I want to add before you close anything, two things. One, after this video is posted, under the video, tell us what you think is iconic about Night Ranger. And the best way to do that is to post on the post, not send a separate post in, because it gets lost with, out of the shuffle. It's always, best to post that way. And two, something that makes this podcast iconic is, we're celebrating November 24th right now. And tomorrow I would be looking up at the sky going, what is that? Oh my God, it's turkeys. Got to get our WKRP reference in there, sis, to make it drink.
Pinedale Shopping Mall.
Hey, before we forget, Brent, you just mentioned, and I wanted to bring it up earlier. Today is a very anniversary in the not Night Ranger world, but in the KISS world. 30 years ago, we lost Eric Carr on this day, and Freddie Mercury. I don't mean to diminish Freddie Mercury one bit. I mean, he's an icon, and he doesn't need our help. Trust me. But sad day if you're a KISS fan and the drummer at all. One of the greatest drummers, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your lifetime. And I met him once, Brent. You met him a couple of times. Eric Carr, with 30 years. It's unbelievable. It's been 30 years since we lost him. So I would at least throw that out there for him, and you guys can.
Do you guys remember where you were when you heard?
Yeah.
I don't. Brent can probably tell me where I was.
I should have just asked Brent.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was home and it came across MTV. And
that's what I was going to say. I think I saw MTV.
And I about just shit, because the last thing I heard was he was getting better.
Yeah.
And he had just been at the MTV Video Awards in August, and that was his last public appearance. And God, I was devastated I mean, it still hurts, but I know it hit me hard for about 2 weeks.
Eddie Trunk did a whole show today dedicated to Eric Carr stories. Did he? I haven't listened to it yet, but he was friends with Eric in their later years, and he said actually Eric, one of the stories he told, he said this yesterday because he was talking about the show today, that Eric actually, they talked like 2 weeks prior, and Eric was saying how great he felt, and he said that it hit me like a ton of bricks. But anyway, Josh, where were you when it happened?
Well, I was right at the beginning of me being a KISS fan. So, I just had kind of started getting into rock magazines just a little bit after that. So I was into KISS, but I don't think I was buying the rock magazines. And I remember my stepdad saying he heard a member of KISS had died, but he didn't remember the name. So I really didn't know until they were doing hype a few months later for the Revenge album. And that's when I started, getting the magazines and stuff, and then reading it there. So I really don't have any memory of when it happened. And I wasn't a fan during the Eric Carr years. So, that didn't really, matter. I didn't have that personal connection to it, but, and it sucks because he was pretty much in one of the worst eras of KISS, where they never really let him sing or write. I mean, it's a shame that Tommy Thayer's on 2 records and has 2 vocals, and Eric was with him for a decade and barely got one. We got the one on Smashes and Thrashes, but but that's the only thing, is he was probably in the worst era, and it sucks is there's no official live album from his era either. So whatever. But
well, he was everything you ever heard about him. He cared about the fans. I mean, I had met him in Dayton, Ohio, and I was backstage, and I kept it cool, and I just said, hey, you ever think about selling your Crazy Nights drum set? I said, because I really want to buy it. He just started laughing because you couldn't afford it. And 5 days later, they're in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm stalking them down at the hotel. And I keep going in, and I keep getting yelled at by security. And it's like 4:00 in the afternoon. I'm thinking, these boys got to be leaving soon. I've been down there since 8:00 in the morning. And I go into the lobby, and there's Eric Carr checking out. And all of a sudden, the security guard goes, motherfucker. That's what he said. He goes, I told you, you're out. And Eric Carr turns around and says, hey, he's with me. Just like that. And you don't treat my fans that way. And he walks over and goes, you're the guy who wants to buy my drum set. You were in Dayton, Ohio the other night, and I was like, oh my God. And we sat there for an hour and spoke. That's incredible. Awesome.
Well, rest easy, Eric, or Paul Caravello and Freddie Mercury.
Go crank some Kiss Crazy Nights, not Crazy Nights, Creatures of the Night. Some of the finest Eric Carr drumming ever recorded, or King of the Mountain.
And the sound, yeah. Hey, can I say one more thing? I want to do a plug.
Yeah.
There's going to be a podcast Andy and I were on over the weekend coming out, where it was a trivia game for the Kiss and Tale podcast. And Andy was one of the participants in the finals. So it's going to be, we'll post a link to it, but you can see how well Andy does on this episode. I'm on there as a lifeline, and of course there were some Kiss questions I threw in there, and then evidently they were hard.
Yeah, they were. Only one of them got answered.
One of the questions was, what was the name of the stove company Eric Carr and his father worked for? Jamaica Stove. Nobody knew it.
Everybody does Jamaica
Stove. Yeah,
that's because they live close to Jamaica Pass up there in Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
But yeah, we represented Fans in Motion on another podcast. So Brent will post that link. It was fun. It was a really good time. And
Google Jamaica Pass Revolutionary War. That's basically why George Washington got his ass kicked in New York. But anyways, are we done?
All right.
Yeah, everybody else is. They've clicked stop about 10 minutes.
We're actually just talking to ourselves at this point.
All right. So everyone, thank you for joining. Go click subscribe and all that other malarkey. And we shall see you in a couple weeks. Hey, hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving too, by the way.
Oh my God, they're turkeys.
Happy. It's pulling a sign. It says happy Thanksgiving.
There you go, Les.
From
W
K R P.
There you go. Go watch Turkeys Away, WKRP in Cincinnati.
I'm going to do that tonight.
Later.